Well, what do we have here? So for those that just want to click on the video and want to take a look at the patch notes, there it is, pause the video. For the rest, I think we have something special going on. Look at the patch title. It reads next patch. Doesn't sound too suspicious, right? Well, if you compare it to all the other patch numbers, they had 0.9, 0.8, 0.72, whatever it was. But for some reason, this patch here is next patch. But why? Well, what would this patch be if it was the next patch? It would probably be 1.0, the final release, well, most likely. Now, there are multiple reasons why you wouldn't do this. One, well, you don't want it to be the final patch, you have more planned, which is what I think is the case. And the other one, we don't care about that because we just talked about more than the final release, you know? Let's take a look at this patch overall and then we go back to this title. We have one new Arcana, there's still a bunch missing. We have incredible secrets. Boy, I can't wait for this because I think we'll have a couple of characters here, maybe even weapons. But beyond all this, I think it actually hints at a new stage. 2 new characters are extra. These are not even secrets, they're just casually announced. As you can see, it reads not present on the roadmap because the roadmap only had 24 characters. Right now, we had 25 non-secret characters. That means then we will be at 27 out of 24. Let's talk about the title later. The tweaks are Gemini now affects Gatiamari. Amazing, I always wanted to lag even more. No, but in all seriousness, there might be some use for this in gold farming methods where you go for Vicious Hunger. And now you just keep Gatiamari as a duplicate. Maybe good, but these don't really take any bonuses from your character or the weapon limit breaks. So why? But it's nice. But the last one, bug fixes. Birds stop shooting at very low cooldown. Do you know who has very low cooldown? My Smith at 22,000 golden eggs. What happened there was, after he started shooting, so the moment you load into a game, he would keep going for 20 seconds, that's the duration with the amount, and then it would stop. It wouldn't continue. The moment the beta drops, and don't forget to subscribe or else you miss that, I will play Smith on the beta and we will check out how crazy it will be on a single weapon with 22,000 golden eggs with Vandalier, because this wasn't possible prior to that patch. It broke, it would just stop shooting. Now let's go back to next patch, okay? Again, we have more characters that don't fit to the roadmap. We already know that there's one more secret character coming with a sword character, but people figured out more, and you just have to believe me this because I didn't find the picture. There's one more stage coming and one more relic, but it's not just one more relic. The additional relic that was hidden on the roadmap for the last update was the 7th relic in the game. Originally, the roadmap that was updated back in February or something like this had 5 relics. Now it has 6, but we already know that there will be a 7th one and either another stage or another challenge map and 2 more characters and more secret characters that were hidden at. And just before you say the sword character will definitely be a secret character, the Hydra that we have right now was also hinted on the same picture, and that was not a secret character. That was just a normal character that you unlock by playing the game. So what do I think does this all mean? Well, first of all, I'm curious about your opinion, but I think this means the developer is in a similar situation that I would be in. That I'm currently in with Vampire Survivors, and I don't know what the right answer is. I think he wants to stop, I think he wants to move on, I think he wants to release a final version and then just be done with it. Now, whether he wants to continue with a new game, that is, well, I can't really answer that. He did hire 2 new people. One is an Android developer, one is a developer that I couldn't find because his name is stupid, I'm sorry. But the point being, he did expand his team of developers 3-fold, because the previous person that worked with him was only for social media attention, so just community manager. But now, he is not the only developer, but he has 3 of them. It could be that one of them is just for the Android version, the other is for the Apple iOS version, for the phone, and that is it. But I think, okay, but a possibility here could be, You have him on the main game. You have an additional developer on Android who will also take care of iOS probably, or it will use some sort of service. And now you have a third developer. What is he doing? One thing that is obvious, for me at least, is the engine, right? This was announced, it was said that it would work, but so far it hasn't been released. Why? My belief is, it's because of modding. It would destroy modding in the game right now, and he didn't want that. And instead, once the final version is out, you will have two versions to play on. One, that is the current version, where you allow modding, and one will be on the new engine, but you can't use any modding there because it works entirely different. Hopefully one day this would move over to, okay, the new version is a thing, but you can freely mod it with Steam Workshop support and stuff like this. But I also believe the developer doesn't want to stop there. I don't think he is done. I think seeing that we have 27 out of 24 characters, one more stage, 2 more relics, and probably a lot more coming, he wants to continue. He doesn't want to stop there. And I know this feeling, because I've been there with Vampire Survivors. Now obviously not as a developer, but as a content creator. And my guess will be, he will release the final version, not this patch. I think this patch will be 0.99, just as a joke, you know, 0.99. Then the next one will be the final version that will be celebrated, it is a final release and stuff like this. And then it will take 1 or 2 months. After the game has already calmed down and there's not a lot going on because people are sure this is it, he will come out with 1.1. And this will drop like a bomb, at least for the community, because most people would expect the game is done, 1.0, there's nothing that will come afterwards, and out of nowhere he appears. And after this I hope he will make patches that will take 1 to 2, maybe even 3 months. What you could do, for example, is development for 2 months. Then you roll out the updates every single week, just one part of it, you know, for 4 weeks. So in total 3 months. And while you're doing this, you make the bug fixes and the patches, you know, for the problem that came up. And then you have another 2 months that you just work on the game. And then you do the same again. 4 weeks, every single week, one part of the update, and you keep it going. Now, is this the only thing that I want to see from the developer? No. It would be great if he would continue, but just as likely, I think it would be very reasonable to assume that a developer would go into another game. So instead of saying, hey, I brought back a genre that most people didn't know, that wasn't very hyped up and in general didn't really exist, like it was there but no one really played it, he might move to another genre. He might move somewhere else and do another game with his knowledge and his experience that he got from Vampire Survivors, but also his work. I would love to see that. And I'm really split whether I want to see him go for another game or if I want to see him stay on Vampire Survivors and develop there. Like, you could even go further and say he hired developers, they will implement his ideas to Vampire Survivors, but he will move on to another game, he will start that, and then he will hire people that he will tell, this is what you have to do, this is what I want to see here. Whatever it will be, I'll be there, don't worry. Don't forget to subscribe for the beta content and obviously the update, and I'm out.